Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Lakeland Vale Let's Play series with me, CWATTYESO here in Farming Simulator 19. I've been doing a few little things since the last video. Because we had a lot of the day left to go, I've decided to treat Delores to some new equipment. We have, in preparation obviously of our potato harvest on field 20, we have now got our very own potato washing system and potato steamer system. So I bought some equipment and we're ready for doing our potatoes. I've moved the weed killer, the weed remover, into this shed here next to our seed, fertiliser and lime storage shelf. However, I am thinking of replacing this. I'm thinking of getting rid of this, and I'm instead thinking of putting around the farm some of these types of buildings, like this. These seed. I can come and tip loose seed in, and it will take the loose seed, put it back into pallets, and put the pallets nicely stacked in the shed, which would be very useful, especially when it comes to the fertiliser one, because obviously I can get fertiliser at the minute from the organic fertiliser factory. However, it isn't in pallet form. It's all loose, and I've got no way of storing loose fertiliser at the farm. I've only got that rack for putting pallets into, and I don't really want to do the long-winded way of doing it, which would be to empty my Bradle spreader, fill it with a load of fertiliser and then empty it. Keep putting the loose fertiliser into the spreader, and then take the empty the spreader to put it into pallets. You know how it goes. You know, you can put pallets into trailers, and then you can use trailers to refill spreaders, and then when you unload the spreader puts the stuff back into pallets. It's a bit of a kind of long-winded workaround, but that's how it goes, unfortunately. This game, some things just aren't easy. You don't have an option to unload machines into pallets or loose. They come pre-fixed, unfortunately. 1,000 litres of milk, look, over here at the cows. Give them some drink. Kind of hoping I might get to do some harvesting today on one or two of my fields. Oh, I bought another field. That's what I meant to say. I've bought field 16. You know, out of all the magic fields down here that were there yesterday, that wanted, so 13's now been harvested, 14 has been cultivated, so there's only 12 and 15 that are now planted. However, 600 and whatever thousand bucks it was for that, 694,000 bucks for that field, or I got field 16 for 359,000 bucks. And that's not bad. Field 16 is not bad. It's currently got wheat planted on it, which is a nice crop for Delores. It is fertilised, although it's only been fertilised one stage. But what I'm thinking of doing with field 16, and I might have a drive down there actually and have a look at it, is after we've harvested it, is maybe not plant it as a crop. I might choose to plant it as grass, and the reason for that is I'll be then able to do twice as much grass as I can do currently. Field 5's okay, we get a lot off it. We get to mow it a couple of times a year. However, it would be nice to have another grass area where I can just particularly focus on maybe just doing that one field just does does all my silage production, and field 5 then becomes my just grass and hay field. We may even get into doing the old palletising or pelleting. That is something I've not done yet with straw harvest add-on installed. We could get into pellet making, doing hay and straw pellets and selling those. Which would open up maybe some opportunities for Delores to continue making lots of profit. I'm not necessarily saying that if I went down the pellet road I would go to the trouble of investing in the machine to put the pellets onto pallets and make pallets of pellets, because that is very time consuming unless you rig the machine up with like a convoluted and crazy kind of conveyor belt system, so you can tip your pellets and they're loaded via conveyor belt into the pallet maker, and then you have your obviously your trailer parked in such a way that you can then auto load the pallets onto the trailer the minute they come off the out of the machine. But yeah, field 16. Now we've done a couple of contracts on field 16 in this Let's Play series. We did fertilising, we've done seeding and everything, but I'm thinking maybe after I've harvested it and got the wheat off of it, potentially just grassing it. We have got a shed here, nicely pre-placed by Stevie, as he does on most of his maps. He places these sheds all around his maps near fields, which you obviously can use once you've bought the land. And I could probably get, you know, header, windrower, baler, pelletiser, possibly in here. I could get the chrome stuff. This is a fairly big field, and again, more grass production and grass products, especially now we've got the animals, like we've got the cows. We are going to need a lot of silage. We're going to need to make silage, a lot of silage. We don't have a fermenting plant. We don't have a fermenting silo, and I'm not actually sure if I'm going to invest in one, and go to the trouble of putting one in. I mean, this area down here would have been nice. It would have been nice to have bought this land with these 4 fields on it. However, after buying field 16, I couldn't afford to buy that area of land. Now, that's not to say I couldn't lease it. There's a possibility. We could rent this land, I suppose, like we're doing with field 21, which would still give us access to the sugar beets which are growing. We would need to cultivate, reseed and plant that field there, and obviously we would need to replant that field there. And then obviously we've got the little field over here. Very interesting. I wonder what global company would charge me for renting that. Let me just make sure we're looking at the right map. So it's 12, 13, 14 and 15, isn't it? So we'll start with field 12. So 12 is... okay, we get the lot then. Leasing field 12 leases the whole bit of land. And we're spending 27 grand now a day on leasing. Right. That means then that Delores can now go back up to the farm, grab a machine, come down here and start doing some work. Let's have a quick look. So 14, 13 have no fertiliser on them or anything. Right, that's going to be an issue then. We're going to have to come down here and fertilise first. So we're going to have to go get a sprayer or a spreader. Alternatively, would this be a good time to test out our compost strategy? We've got money. We could go get a compost machine. Compost spreader. And we could compost spread those 3 fields. That would be a good idea. I can then use the compost spreader for doing my own fields then later on after harvesting and stuff. That's an idea that has just come to me literally at this particular moment. Yeah. Let's head to the store, get a manure spreader, fill it up with compost, come back, and we can compost spread those 2 fields, and then we can seed them with something, or plant them with something. Another thing I'm aware of, and obviously I'll keep my eye on, is that when obviously we come to harvest, like that field there, and my other fields currently, we're going to need a header for the harvester. I didn't buy a corn header, did I? So that's something else I'm going to have to get. So I don't want to spend all my money. And we're also going to need a potato harvester fairly soon. Manure spreaders. Now there's only one. Oh, crap. I don't have it installed. I don't have the one I want. Don't have the one I want installed because obviously I was thinking of going down the Terrogator road. Oh, that's suddenly now put a spanner in the works, hasn't it? Terrogator's not terribly expensive. Well, that's going to be 106 grand. Do it. Just do it. Don't look back. I thought I'd got the big 50-foot long manure spreader installed, but I haven't. I've only got the one which does the that's on the multiplayer server. I've got it on the multiplayer server. I've not got it on this Let's Play series because obviously my plan was now we've got problems because now I've got a tractor stuck up here at the store. It's the trouble when you're playing on multiple save games. With many different mods. Excuse me. You'll have to forgive me for that. Something stuck in my throat there. Tell you what, again, another thing with this weather in the UK, going from hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, is it seems to mess with my vocal cord dysfunction condition, my VCD. It makes it very difficult for me to talk sometimes. I just get to a point where I can't speak. Your voice just goes, and it's... tell you what, it's really embarrassing, actually. It's a really embarrassing condition when you're talking and suddenly your voice just changes. It's all squeaky and horrible. It sounds like you're a teenager going through the change, you know? But over here we should have some compost now. So we should be able to fill this up. Not got a massive tank on it, 36,000 litres. Which is honestly kind of why I was thinking of having that the other machine. Honestly, the manure spreader we use on the server is fantastic. 50 foot long thing. It's big, bright yellow trailer. Quite a big tractor with a lot of horsepower to pull it, because obviously a 50-foot manure spreader holds quite a lot of manure. In fact, it holds about 80,000 litres, which is a lot of manure or compost. And it has a spreading width of 15 metres, so it's not the widest spreader in the world, but an 80,000 litre tank goes a long way. I don't think the tank on this goes a long way. In actual fact, I've got a feeling this runs through compost and manure very, very quickly from previous testing that I've done. I know on my test save that I did, where I did a compost spreading on field 21 there behind me. Did a compost spreading on that field, and I think I had to refill 6 times to do the whole field. So that got through a lot. You know, 36,000 times 6. That's how many litres it used on that one field, and that's not the biggest field on the map, obviously. What we'll do is we'll head down, we'll compost spread the 2 fields, and then we can come back then with our seeder or our planter, depending on what we're going to actually do. I'm not going to bother with GPS first time I do this. I'm just going to get on and do it. Now, this machine, you just switch it on. You don't have to... Most manure spreaders, you actually have to open the little gate thing at the top. This one you don't. As soon as you switch it on, it automatically opens and starts spreading the compost everywhere, which is very nice. Same as when you turn it off. Might just be missing a little strip there. That's the only downside to not using the GPS. I'm being lazy. I'm being lazy. I shouldn't be lazy. You know, this is just a test application, shall we say. Crows now have sound effects, by the way. I have installed the crow sound mod off the mod hub, which gives the crows actual crow sounds. So everybody can be fully immersed. Now, if I was to seed this field right now, this second, I would need to come and do it with the Amazonie, because my case seeder is not a direct drill. Not a direct drill seeder. Can you believe it? Which means the Amazonie doesn't fertilise. So, after seeding both of these fields, what I would then need to do is come over and fertilise them. I'd have to fertilise them again. So I'd have to get the sprayer out at that point. Although now I've invested so heavily, so heavily in the Terrogator, it might be worth getting the sprayer attachment for the Terrogator. However, if my memory serves me right, we have the problem with the Terrogator that because I've got it in the 5-wheel variant now, I don't think the fertiliser sprayer connects to this. I think the fertiliser sprayer only connects to the 3-wheel version, the shorter version. And I don't know logistically or realistically how believable it is that Delores would keep taking wheels off her machine every time she wanted to spread or spray something different. You know, I don't know how believable that is, that a farmer would take 2 wheels off a machine and shorten his machine just to be able to use a different implement on it for a few minutes. So this is the thing, like I was saying, which is one of the reasons why I was thinking to myself, I'm gonna get myself a Case Patriot for doing my spraying. Myself a Patriot, because I'll be able to spray a lot more with the Patriot, obviously, and it's self-drivable like this. And obviously I could keep my Terrogator then for doing manure and slurry applications. I'm not even sure if you can actually get like a grain hopper to go on the back of the Terrogator as well, a tipper, grain tipper. I'm not sure if that goes on the 5-wheel version or the 3-wheel version. It went on the 5-wheel version. That could come in very useful when you're doing your harvesting. We've got a manure, we've got a compost spreader. Well, Delores has got a compost spreader. He's got a lovely compost spreader. Take a screenshot. Probably going to be in the video thumbnail. I'm nearly out of compost. I wonder, I believe there is some in the farm silo. I believe Stevie gave you some compost to start with, and I believe I've taken a trailer load down there. Let's just see how much of the field I can do. Not a lot. And we'll drive back to the farm. Quick refill. And then we can come back, finish that field off. Then we can make a start, then maybe might leave it and do the seeding in the next video. Or just leave the fields as they are for the time being, until after we've done the sugar beet harvest and the other harvest that's there. One of those fields needs lime spreading, the one with the wheat on, the wheat or barley. Get that lime spreaded, and then get that composted, and then we can get the whole lot seeded, cultivate subsoiled, seeded and everything, and then we can get that planted, probably with our winter wheaty crops, our winter wheats, barley, oats. I did plan ahead and get some. I remember I brought some compost back I did bring a trailer load of compost back, didn't I, in a recent video when I was up there. I did some compost manoeuvring. It was after I discovered I could deliver my straw bales there and turn them into compost. I was like, oh, very useful, because I think straw bales weren't making a lot of money. Selling straw bales was not making me a lot of money, to the point where I thought it's not really worth selling them. However, turning the straw bales into compost, getting free fertiliser, now that's worth having. Definitely worth having. You know, if they were only paying me like $50 for a bale, you know, and a pallet of fertiliser costs, you know, $2,000, I would have to sell a lot of bales to buy one pallet of fertiliser, wouldn't I? Yet, if I turn the bales into compost, you know, and I've got, you know, 8,000 litre bales, 4 bales of straw is 32,000 litres of compost. Well, that's nearly a full machine. Look, this machine holds 36,000 litres. So 4 straw bales would give me nearly one full bin of compost for this sprayer, which, as we've seen, one full bin does 1 and a bit of these little fields. So economically, your straw into compost strategy is probably not a bad way to save some money, because then you're not buying fertiliser. Okay, you're going to need fertiliser in your seeder. Yes, I appreciate you will need fertiliser in your seeder, in your case, if we stick to using the case. We don't need fertiliser in the Amazonie, that's seed only. We don't need fertiliser in the planter now, because that is seed only as well. So actually, when it comes to like dry fertiliser, the number of applications that I've got of dry fertiliser is very limited now. Literally the only thing that I've got that applies dry fertiliser is the case seeder. Anyway, we'll get this finished. We'll get the composting finished. Delores has worked very hard I know some people will say, well, actually, she hasn't worked very hard at all, because really, the only money you've made so far in this series was in the last video when you sold those horses. Ah, but we had to work to get to the horses, didn't we? And yes, I know the horses are a bit of a money cheat, because the horses do bring in an exceedingly ridiculous amount of money each time you sell them when they're trained up. But it allows me to experiment with things like this, where I can lease different fields, buy different machines, and explore other things, rather than just keep doing videos of me standing around at the farm watching the grass grow, which is kind of what I'm doing. Because of how I've got growth control set up, the fields grow very, very slowly. It's like Seasons Light. It's a bit like playing with Seasons, you know, where you'd have the whole summer where you have nothing to do, and the whole winter where you have nothing to do. With Seasons, I've managed to kind of simulate the same thing with the growth control mod, but without the added complications that Seasons brings, where when Seasons messes up and screws up your fields, you don't lose all your time and effort and progress that you put in. Growth control is never going to mess up your fields. It's never going to wither your fields unless you choose not to harvest them. Growth control isn't just going to randomly change the crop on your fields for no reason whatsoever, you know? I know some people would prefer I be playing with Seasons, but honestly, until more bugs get squashed in Seasons, and Seasons manages to fix some of the conflicts it has with other mods, I'm quite happy playing without Seasons at the minute. You know, I would love the idea of playing with Seasons and the realism and going through the different seasonal changes and stuff on a map. Honestly, it seems like at the minute, with every new map that comes out, Seasons doesn't seem to work quite as well with them, with newer maps, newer mods. So I think the Seasons guys need to do some heavy updating and support some of the newer mods that have come out since Seasons was first created. Park this guy up, and then sadly we've reached the end of another episode. That's 2 I've managed to record today. Weird. Some days I can spend the whole day playing and record barely enough footage to make an episode, and then today I've managed to bang out 2 episodes in one session. So thank you for watching, everybody. Thank you for joining me here on the Lakeland Vale Map by Stevie. If you have enjoyed the video and are enjoying the series so far, please remember to click the like button down below. Also, if you're not currently a subscriber to the channel, go ahead, click that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. It is 100% free. There's no reason not to be subscribed to the channel. Leave your comments, questions, suggestions, feedback in the comment section down below. And share the video wherever you see fit, with whomever you see fit. I've been CWATTY. Goodbye for now.